It's 2.5 weeks before Rosh Hashanah, so my heart rate is certainly a little higher than it might have been 3.5 weeks before Rosh Hashanah. It just means that I am intense in thought and preparation for these holy days, thinking about what I want to speak about in these, what we'll call sermons, that I think less of as sermonic and more of as conversation that I can have with you. I feel like when I look out at all of you, regardless of the number, I'm in a conversation with you. I'm in a conversation not with the words that you say to me in that moment, because obviously that would be cacophony or chaos. Instead, I'm in a conversation with you whom I know and your stories that inform the next thing that I say and how I might say it to you. So I hope you appreciate that experience that I have in standing in front of you and sharing those thoughts. I've never talked in advance about what I'm going to speak about in the High Holy Days. I want to do that now. Two subjects that I want to address. One is our own presence, and we could talk about more about that during the Holy Day services, what it is to just be there. I'm not referring to Peter Sellers' old movie, Being There, but what it is in your life, just being there, what it is to show up. And I'll unpack that and spend time on that and give you ways of thinking about how we show up and what we show up for and whom we show up for and how it might enrich and change us in this new year. The second I said, is, and not in this order, the immense power of awe, something we don't often think about. We think about awe as something that happens to us. We are awestruck occasionally, maybe 3 times in life, maybe 5 times, maybe 10. But what if we could be prescriptive about this most important aspect of our well-being, our joy, our gratitude, and our health? So in addition to those two, I want to talk about 2 big subjects. One is grand. It's life worth living. What does that mean at any age? What is living a life worth living? And I hope that will be something that will help you think about the tiny and the large choices that you make going into a new year. I love that we get these reset points. Without them, we just keep turning on the wheel, moving from task to task, commitment to commitment. But I love that our tradition says stop, show up, be there, and have a reset, a chance to think and look at the ceiling and stare at the sky and put your arms around other people and sing and sway and get out of even your own language, because that's the language of tasks and doing and commitments, and instead get to Hebrew and connect with something larger than yourself. And the last thing that I want to talk about that I think is an imperative, it's something I spoke to one of my esteemed rabbinic colleagues about this morning. He said, well, are you going to talk about Israel? I said, I don't think I cannot talk about Israel this year. I think our congregants in all synagogues are saying, what will my rabbi tell me about anti-Semitism and the state of Israel and what it is to be a Jew in the world right now? And I intend to do that to the best of my ability within the time constraints of 15 minutes or so. So with that said, I hope that you'll join me. Join because it supports the work that I am doing personally and tirelessly, and join because it supports us as a synagogue, which means you're supporting Israel advocacy, because that's something that we're doing. You're supporting the mentoring of young Jewish people, because that's what we're doing. You're supporting the connections that we make between people in this community in their 20s and 30s now, also in the middle of life, what we'll call the empty nest years, and in the later years of life, in all aspects of life, including the youngest and youngest and youngest among us, our preschool kids all the way up through high school. We are really thoughtfully working toward making deeper and richer connections to Jewish identity and values. So please help us, support us by joining us for the High Holy Days, using tickets. It certainly does something, and I'm glad that you get something out of it. By joining us for the year, it does a lot more. And I hope you'll take seriously that notion of saying, let me show up, because this year, I don't know what the world will bring. I certainly know what I can bring. I can be there for other people and be surrounded by good people who share my values, my interests, especially in this challenging year, 2024, going into 2025. Let's be strengthened by one another.